Hey there, y'all, and welcome to today's Daily Down and Dirty. My name is Fairlight. Welcome to Airy Fairy Tarot. All right, y'all, the message today is lust is easy. Real love takes work. And I'm all jaded about love, so fuck this reading. No, I'm just kidding. No, some of you are really into it, so this is for you. So it starts out, we've got this Magician reverse. This is like the main card of the reading. Magician reversed, and on top of that, like at an angle, we've got the Knight of Staffs or Wands like pouring into this Magician reversed. And then above that, we've got the Devil reversed. So lust. Let's talk about lust first. With the Magician reversed, it's like you're miscreating what you actually want. And so, you know, pretty obviously, it's like you're feeding over to this, you know, the Knight of Staffs, Knight of Wands, Knight of Fire reversed. That's fuckboy energy, you know? And then this Devil is reversed. So it kind of feels like you're starting to recognize that lust isn't very fulfilling. And so, you know, no judgment. I've been a wild thing throughout my life and at times in my life, so no judgment. But there does come a time where it's like, man, that energy just isn't very fulfilling. In fact, it can be quite draining or just toxic in general. So it looks like, you know, whoever this reading is for, you've kind of had enough of that. Thankfully, again, the Devil is reversed. It's like you've just had enough of maybe recognizing, maybe you're having some sort of a spiritual awakening. I say that because then next to that Devil reversed is the Star card upright. So maybe you're having some sort of an awakening to like, this isn't fulfilling. This is really draining and toxic. And I'm never going to get what I really want by doing this, you know? I also want to jump ahead and say the real love part comes in, coming in at another angle to the Magician reversed is the Lover's card with the Three of Pentacles. So real love takes work. But let's focus on this Star for a minute. You know, normally with those two pictures, she's pouring one onto a seedling on the land, but I think it's significant that she's just completely pouring into this pool of water in front of her. And there's this butterfly flying overhead. There's some sort of a metamorphosis that you've gone through. So again, that's why it feels like it really could be a spiritual, some sort of a spiritual awakening or something, to where recognizing this is just harming me. You know, and I can say just from personal experience, like, you know, when you're, especially when you're having some sort of an awakening like that and becoming more connected to yourself as a complete system, mind, body, and spirit, and recognizing how other people's energies can affect you. And that can just be in conversation. So imagining that you're blending your creative, powerful energy with somebody random, or, you know, and who knows how many pieces of people they're carrying in their sexual energy, and then you're bringing that into your body. Like, it can make you feel kind of crazy, or at the very least, it can make you feel icky, toxic, or unhappy, or whatever it is. So I do like that there's this energy of, I'm going to nurture myself. And it feels like there's something about, because she's pouring all of this energy and attention, and the nakedness always represents transparency. Like, she's got nothing to hide. She's experienced all of these things, and now she really is committed to healing. She really is committed to this metamorphosis, this change, because she's being guided by that, the light of her consciousness. She's being guided by, you know, her North Star. And so I always feel like she's breaking the surface tension. So not only is she healing the emotions that are on the surface, but she's going deeper, breaking the surface tension, bringing to the surface maybe the pain that she carries that led her to seek validation in these lusty ways. Him, her, it doesn't matter what gender, because, you know, the Magician and the Knight are both, it doesn't matter what gender. And I didn't realize when I started this reading that underneath the star card, we also have the Queen of Staffs, the Queen of Fire, who is actually a very sexual energy herself, but she's upright and she knows her fucking power. She knows her worth, she knows her power, she knows what she wants in life, and she's courageous enough to go after what she truly wants. So there's something about, in this deep healing, in this transparency, in this willingness to change, in this willingness to change her patterns and heal what's at the root cause of all of this, which is probably self-worth issues. She's bringing to the surface, and now I look, and not only is she bringing to the surface her own very powerful sexual energy, and she's learning to create a life with intention and to stand in her power and boldly go after what she is truly passionate about in life. In this case, it does look like love, but then also uncovering this Nine of Swords energy, which, you know, I call this PTSD. This is trauma. This is at the root cause of like why we act out like this and dissipate our energy. And again, I'm not trying to throw shade on anybody. If you're one who enjoys that kind of whatever, it's funny, I was just having a conversation with my friend who works here at the shop. Like, I don't want to control anybody's behavior as far as what they prefer, you know, sexually, as long as they're not hurting anybody or deceiving anybody. And talking about how, like, a lot of people deceive themselves. They go into self-denial because their religion tells them there's something wrong with them if they don't deny an aspect of themselves. And that's where we come into thinking that sexuality is a choice, when it's really not. Suppressing who you really are really isn't a choice. Again, we're talking about consenting adults here. And I don't know why, I don't care. I said all that. So, Nine of Swords is really addressing, maybe it is what you've been suppressing about the way you feel about yourself and your own sexual energy. If you have lived in a culture or a religion or a paradigm that really distorts the way you see yourself, and honestly, in the United States, there's a lot of that shit. So, you know, I didn't expect this to be such a reading about liberation, but I'll take it. I love that. And I didn't expect that with the Magician reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed and the Devil reversed, that this was going to be such a revelation of self-worth issues and suppressing the truth of who I am. And something that I always like to say is, there's not an honest fucking thing about conformity. You know, if you have to lie about who you are, if you have to put on a facade and pretend to be someone or something that you're not in order to gain acceptance from others, cut to the chase, they don't accept you. So they can fuck off, and you can learn to love and accept yourself and go into this deep, deep healing and discovering what lies at the root of this trauma. So next to the star is in between not only the Devil reversed, but also the Sun reversed. And it's beautiful that underneath that Sun reversed is this Five of Swords. It's the gaslighting card. And so again, it's all this mental belief stuff that if I be my true authentic self, people are going to disapprove of me. People are, whatever it is, I'm gonna lose the competition, as if there is any fucking competition, whatever that competition's about. But often there is this win at all costs. People will defend their beliefs so vehemently, and underneath it all, they're defending it so much because they're defensive, because they're denying a deeper truth, and they don't want to allow others to have a truth that they're not allowed to acknowledge about themselves. But underneath that, we've also got the Chariot card. All these major arcanas, y'all. So this is about moving forward in the direction of your authenticity, moving in the direction that makes your soul sing, that feels like it aligns to your purpose and who you truly are. And that's so much with the Sun reversed, but this gaslighting card, again, this is you dimming your light, dimming your authentic expression, dimming your truth, dimming your brilliance, because others don't approve of your true expression. Again, I already was like, this is a pretty intense reading and didn't even know how deep it would go. But, you know, let's have this conversation. With this Sun reversed, one of my favorite things to say is, There is no amount of dimming your light that can compensate for the insecurities of others. And I always want to say it at least twice. There is no amount of dimming your light ever that can compensate for the insecurities of others. You're not responsible for their perspective. You're not responsible for their security or insecurity. And if they're projecting all that onto you, then probably you're going to shine too brightly for them anyway. And so why diminish yourself? I would say fuck what they think. And either they can take accountability and responsibility for their own healing or not, but you can take accountability and responsibility for your own healing or not. And it looks like it's very much encouraging you to take a new path where you're committed to your own healing and you're committed to your own path. And so because this does seem to want to be about love, then we do end with the Lovers and the Three of Pentacles. I'm actually not mad at this at all, even if I am a bit jaded, because this is beautiful. True love takes work. And that's what Three of Pentacles is all about. It's about working together. It's about making a commitment to a shared vision and working on it. And earth energy is the slowest moving energy, the slowest moving element of all the elements. But it's also the most sustaining, the most sustainable, the most foundational. This is about really creating a vision together and then investing yourselves in it, committing to it, cultivating it, nourishing it, and nourishing each other, but also taking that accountability and responsibility. I think it's in the fifth agreement, which is all about that love and how when you put your happiness in another person's hands, you can't be mad at them when they drop it because they can't be responsible for your happiness. You are accountable for yourself to be happy. They are accountable for themselves to be happy. And if either of you chooses to do something that isn't honoring of each other, then you have to look and say, but am I doing what makes me happy? And so in that, there can still be aligning to the agreement and setting them free to go find someone that shares the vision that they're sharing, or making this commitment to work on it together. And really, it's like they've got their hands wrapped around this tree. And for some reason, I get this impression of their roots growing deep together. And that's what, pentacles, they're also seeds. It's about cultivating those seeds, nurturing them to fruition, but also putting your roots down deep together. And there's this beautiful poem by William Blake. I know it sounds something like, and our roots intertwine or something. It's a beautiful quote. But it really does. True love takes work, and you got to be willing to work on yourself. And then you've also got to be willing to work on the shared commitment, the shared vision, or acknowledge that it's not what you want. And there's no right or wrong. It's more about being honest with yourself. And that just brings me back to when the sun is reversed, you're taught that it's not safe to be honest. Again, there's not an honest fucking thing about conformity. And so when you turn that brightness up and you shine your brilliance and your light, you're also turning up your truth, and you stand on that truth and you make a commitment to yourself first and foremost, whether it hurts or not. I'm going to shine my brilliance and I'm going to speak my truth because I deserve my truth. And anyone that I would invest myself in also deserves the truth and nothing less. All right, that's all I have for today. Once again, my name is Fairlight. If you would like a palm tarot or astrology reading from me, that link will be in the bio or the show notes. Otherwise, I'll see you back here next time. Peace and love.